Discovery had been doing very well as a company, really from inception. And it got to a point where there was a sense that in order for us to move to that next level and become a globally competitive company, we need to deploy global best practice. So we looked around to find methodologies out there that we could deploy, which would then take us to that next level. My first exposure to Lean Six Sigma was actually as a green belt. And when I went on the training, I was exposed to some of the concepts. And I had a eureka moment when we were trying to find a way to measure quality effectively within Discovery Health. And on the training, I was exposed to DPMO, which got me thinking, and I thought this is going to be the solution to measure quality more effectively in the business. And Lean Six Sigma was a perfect fit for the reasons that, one is that we would look at our processes and Lean would help us refine them and take out the waste. And on the Six Sigma side, being a very data-driven company, we could then take our data, analyze it far more effectively, and find ways to improve the quality, the efficiency, the overall operational effectiveness of the business. Defects per million opportunities. So what we were doing historically is we were measuring the defectives. So what was happening is some departments would have a defective rate of 40% and others would have a defective rate of 5%. And the reason was because there was no consideration given for the opportunities which people had to make an error. So when we moved to DPMO, what we did, we said we need to take every single process, identify every opportunity in that process, and then measure the errors made per opportunity. So what that then did, it gave us, first of all, the ability to fine-tune the standard operating procedures, which then meant that each department would own their SOPs or their standard operating procedures. They then went and defined opportunities in detail, and then when we audited their work, what we then found is that we got to the detail and we were able to give them far more insightful information about where they were going wrong. We got a lot of training done by BMGI in the early stages of the deployment. So what that gave us was a common language, which we were trying to get within the business. And I think if we wouldn't have had the understanding of the concepts like DPMO, we wouldn't have achieved what we did. So the training definitely laid the foundation to get everybody on the same page. So when we started rolling out DPMO, there was a lot more understanding of the concepts and better adoption within the business. Management buy-in from the top is a key driver for the success of any kind of Lean Six Sigma or process improvement or operational excellence type of methodology. In that, if the top management give the message to their teams that this is what they expect and this is where they want us to go in terms of an organization, you get a lot more buy-in. At the same time, we've had to get staff on the ground in terms of people in my team and staff at staff level, team leader level, manager level, to engage with one another, to have those hard debates, to have a disputes process, to say, I don't believe you're right, and then debate it and talk about it. And we've had some very nice examples where we had some departments who were sitting with their error rate at like 300,000. They've dropped it now to 2,000. So over time, they've realized that if they focus on their processes, they understand the opportunities that need to be worked on, they can bring the error rate down quite dramatically. What we found with measuring defects or DPMO was that we were giving people more information and we were now managing against their processes, which they owned in their business environments. When we looked at the incentives, because people had quality in the incentives, they were driven to now make sure that they were doing better and better at it. You can't get poor quality and expect to have satisfied, happy customers. So in our incentives, we've got the quality component, but we also measure the perceptual satisfaction of our customers. And what we've seen over time is that as quality has improved, the perception scores have gone up, which then that tells us that our customers are getting more and more satisfied with the service they're getting. And this we've done through understanding the processes far more effectively and digging deeper into ensuring that the processes are more defined than they were historically. What we decided to do was to take elements of the Lean Six Sigma methodology and say, what do we feel is going to work best for the business? So we actually said to people, we're going to give you a tool set with which to work to do your jobs better. And with that, we took some of the things like standard operating procedures, processes, the concepts of DPMO, brainstorming, root cause analysis. And these tools have been now embedded in the culture of the business through a lot of training, reinforcement, systems, annual roadshows, and making people feel comfortable with these tools. I think first we had a great relationship with the BMGI engagement leader and staff. We took the material from BMGI, the core material, and we discoverized it, as we like to say. And we customized it so that we would make it our own. And then as it started getting more and more embedded in the organization, over time we said, right, we've got the knowledge and the competency, and we were then able to pull back from using BMGI to say, we've now got the material, we've got the knowledge, and we can now deploy it within the business ourselves and really use BMGI as and when required. There's no doubt that by deploying Lean Six Sigma, it has definitely taken us to that next level. So from a cost point of view, we've managed to keep our costs under control, and in fact, year on year, in real terms, we've actually brought down our costs. From a delivery point of view, we are certainly more efficient as the years have gone by in terms of being able to get the work out quicker. And on the quality side, we're making sure that even though we're getting it out quicker, that what the customers are receiving in terms of quality is better, in terms of the accuracy of the information, the completeness, the correctness, etc. The reason why the relationship between BMGI and Discovery worked so well is because BMGI understood Discovery's needs and were flexible in changing the way that Lean Six Sigma could be deployed. So instead of going with a very rigid approach of saying we must deploy a DMAIC and that's the way it needs to be, BMGI realized that Discovery wanted a tool set out of the DMAIC methodology and helped us to customize our training material and our methodology, which we deployed within the business very effectively. And we also had a very good relationship on a personal level, which developed over time, where we could debate issues and problem solve together. So the contribution of Lean Six Sigma in terms of improving Discovery's operational excellence has been multifold. The first is that it's given people an understanding of what the tools are that one should deploy to be operationally excellent. It's also helped us to deploy the methodology effectively throughout the organization. And it has made us a more efficient, effective organization with the ultimate impact being more satisfied customers.